Hey everyone, I'm John Michael Swift. Welcome back to my Thumbpicking series, and we're going to go over the solo to Treetop Flyer, Daylight Again, live version. I've promised this to people like 3 years ago, and I'm finally doing it now. So yeah, here you go. So I'm going to do this lesson a little differently from some of the other ones that I do because it's getting a little further along. It's a little more advanced and there's a lot of material to cover. So I'll do some breakdown, but I'm going to expect you to kind of be able to reference some other things, like I already know other parts of the song. And also, if you have some trouble with some of the bends, like if the style of those bends is not something you're really familiar with, you're going to want to check out my Blues Raga series to make sure you know some of these core blues licks. But also, if you're getting into improvisation, this is a really good solo to kind of learn some core blues and melodic licks because they're really essential in that language. So it's really handy in that sense. But yeah, now I'm going to break it down one phrase at a time and do a lot of showing and not quite as much talking as I normally do. And at the end, I'm going to play through the whole thing. So and also I shot this at 60 frames a second, so I encourage you, slow it down. Slow it down, break it down in pieces. All right. With that, let's get into it. So right off the bat, go to my website. If you haven't yet, get the tab. That will help. The tab is exactly what I'm going to play here, so you can use that to follow along. There's a free link to it. Just use that to help you out if you get lost. So here we go. First phrase. 1, 2, ready, here we go. Combination of these two fingers to play that stuff. Sometimes you'll cross with the index or the thumb. It doesn't matter too much. But you're hammering on from the open 6th string, and you're in drop D tuning. If I didn't tell you that yet, drop D tuning. So that's your first phrase. Play it along with me one more time. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Then it's going to be pretty much the same idea, an octave higher. So we're going from the open D string now, 4th string. 1, 2, ready, here we go. So one more time. 1, 2, ready, here we go. So if you put those two ideas together, make sure you practice them, you got them solid, put them together. 1, 2, ready, here we go. And so take a second, repeat that, nail it down, then we're going to go on. A lot of times he'll use this kind of harmonic minor variation after he goes, kind of crosses back with the middle finger. Now he's kind of on 7 and 6. For a second, he does 7 and 6. It's like harmonic minor. But then he's going to go back to pentatonic. So after he did 7, 6, 7, then he shifts back to this position. And you could I like to kind of pull and hammer across, but you could also pull and then pluck with the thumb a couple times in a row. You could go pull off, thumb, 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 or you could go pull off, hammer, thumb, thumb. Both are options. I like the cross. I like to hammer across because I think it phrases a bit better, but I think he plucks it as he crosses. So if we add that to the phrase before where we start on the open D, it goes 1, 2, ready, here we go. 2, 3. Okay, repeat those as much as you need to make sure you got them down. Check the first measure if you need to. Now, we go to a phrase where we kind of do a lot of climbing. Let's start on the open A, the 5th string. We're going to kind of do a diagonal hammer like we've been. Let's get up to just that. We hammer. But kind of hammer. Then we slide across, and then we wind up on the 6th fret of the 2nd string. I'm going to play it one more time. 1, 2, ready, here we go. All right, there we go. There's that phrase. So it climbs up just a little bit more. From the 6, you kind of go slide up to 10 and wind up there. I'll show you that climb one more time. Going from 6, slide with the ring up to 10. We got 8, 10 on the E string. And then we got this kind of funky falling lick. So just try to nail that down, and we're going to try to get the whole climb all the way up to here. Try to put those together. It'll go like this. 1, 2, ready, here we go. Do that again. Slow it down if you need to. Use the YouTube app. Slow it down whenever you need to. 1, 2, 1 more time. Sweet. Okay. Take a quick breather. Review everything. I'm going to actually just play everything up to there, and then we're going to take a quick break and then come back and keep doing more. So from the top, 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, here we go. We're going to pick it up from there when we come back. So from this top note up here, start on 10, you get 8, and then 10 again, and then bend 6, and then cross over to this harmonic minor lick again. So I'll show you the notes one more time, and then I'm going to play them as part of the ascending line. So bend, and that guy again. So I'll do it a few times in rhythm with the ascending line. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and one more time, in time. 1, 2, here we go. So I'm going to show you one more phrase after this, and then we're going to put it together, everything we've done up to now. So from this harmonic minor, you kind of slide right back into the position where you're on ring and index on 7 and 5. So you slide back just so you kind of slide a little bit, but mostly just get back to position. And then you kind of press D, bend the C, and then pull. So there's a few pull-offs here. Time. And then from there, you kind of just, you could play almost anything that kind of fits the sort of early verse grooves. I'll show you what he does exactly in a minute, but it's kind of just fluff that fills in the space. So if I play that from the descending line up here in time, 1, 2, here we go. Hits this once and just kind of hammers and pulls for the rest of it. And hits the low D. So one more time in time, just those two phrases. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. Yeah. Okay. So if there's any parts up to here you don't think you recall, go check them out, because now we're going to play everything up to that point from the beginning. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. repeat that as many times as you need to, because that's the biggest part of the solo right there, is all that opening stuff. So, after you've got that down, he goes... He mostly just does a measure of... You could almost just play anything in the D minor space. You could just play sort of anything to fill in the space. But exactly what it is, he goes, boom, pull off, and then he slides into the 15th fret. So if this is 12 on the B string, slides into 15 on the B string, 10, and then bends 10 on the G string. 15 on the B string, 10 on the B string, bends 10, and then kind of goes back into this G phrase. Do dig a da. And he's going to go into another thing. So if we just start from the D phrase, play that bit, and then into the G phrase out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do that all one more time. 1, 2, 3, and... Cool. So now, it starts to get to the really fun parts. So it's going to kind of be back up in the stratosphere here. 13 to 15. Break this lick down a little bit. So he's done 13, 15, and bends 13 on the E string. And then there's some kind of ghost notes here. So what I usually do is I kind of do a mixture of kind of planting and tapping a few things. Let me play it once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of plant the thumb and pluck it as a dead note, or you could also tap with this hand, but you want to tap, 2 dead notes. It's like, there we go. So I'll do that in tempo in a second to make it clearer, but he's kind of playing 12 and 12 and kind of bending 10 and 10 and playing 12 on the D string. So this is on the 2nd and 3rd string, 2nd and 3rd string, 4th string. So that whole phrase, one more time. Time and time. 1, 2, here we go. And then he's going to play the open G string and play 5 and 5 and 7 and 7 on your 3rd and 4th strings, and your inner 2 strings up, and kind of slides out. So that transition now, he plays open G, 5 and 5 on the inner strings, 7 and 7 on the inner strings, and slides out. So to put those 2 phrases together, 1, 2, 3, here we go. Do that one more time, a little bit slower. 1, 2, here we go. And so, to get back into a lot of these phrases, he'll play sort of like a ghost G on the of 4, and then kind of get into these G phrases, and kind of whack that F, and then jump into something else. So if I play it with the transition out, it looks like this: 3, 4, and. Cool. So that's that piece. So after he whacks this F, he's going to play this kind of 5, 5, 7, 7 thing. So 5, 5 on the inner strings, 7, 7 on those strings. Then he jumps over, plays 5 on the E string, 6 and bends on the B strings. So. And this thumb here is sort of a pivot point to be able to bend this note and keep this note steady. It's really helpful. So you're really going to extend your middle finger. And to get out of that, chuck, pluck, pluck. So he flicks the strings, plucks the open D string with the index, and then plays the thumb. So it's double stop, double stop, double stop, bend, flick, pluck, thumb. So let's just do just that in time. 1, 2, here we go. Ah! One more time. 1, 2, here we go. Cool. And coming out of that phrase, actually, let me put that together with the phrase before it. So just to kind of reiterate the phrase we did as well and connect them. So if we start back way up here. 1, 2, here we go. Gave away what was next there. So repeat what you need to out of that, but he kind of jumps right back into this sort of D phrase. It plays open G, open B, and then 2 and 1, and just kind of slides out up. So to show that, you know. One more time from that part. 1, 2, here we go. Yeah. Okay, so that's that bit, and then he kind of jumps into this. This is on 10 on the B and the E strings. So he kind of plucks the B string, and then the E and the B strings again, and kind of pulls out of them. So to put those kind of 3 mini phrases together, here we go. 1, 2, starting from that. 1, 2, here we go. And goes right back into that G phrase. So let's go through that one more time, even a hair slower. 1, 2, here we go. Cool. So, why don't we try to play everything after the break that we did? So starting from kind of the high part. Let's play everything we just did, kind of this middle section up to there. All together. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. And then, all right, so if you need to repeat that. I'm actually not going to hit that F right there because he doesn't hit it. He kind of heads up to this guy. He almost kind of skips this guy. He kind of extends his G. So we've had this phrase already. He does that exact thing. So we're coming into the home stretch here. So he gives us... He does an open G, and then I think the way he does an open G and then a G on the 5th string, but you kind of hear a G twice, kind of this lower G note. So I think he does open and then 5th fret. That's what I think happens. So if he goes open 5th, and the pentatonic phrase is just... That's how he gets out of the position shift. So let's play just this this move from here back down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, One more time and I'll hit the right open string here. You go 1, 2, here we go. Yeah. So I'll play the rest of this phrase once and then I'll break it down a little bit. That's the end of the solo. So let's break this down a bit at a time. So if we start from this kind of open string to 5. here we. One more time. And then so if I continue it a bit. Oh, sorry, my bad. So up to there. And then, after that, we're going to pull off to the A string. This part's, I'll explain this in a lot of detail because it's a little weird. You pull off to the A string, you go 3 on the low D string, walk up chromatically, and then you pull off to the open D string, and then you go to 3 to 4. So from the pull off for the A string, you pull off to open, 3, 4, 5, pull off to the D, and then you go 3, 4 on the A string. So if I play from the kind of position shift from up here. And it's just the end, he just goes, bends, ba-da-da. So we've done stuff like this right at the beginning. This is kind of the box we began in. So I'm going to play it from that section kind of slowly and see if you can follow along. Use YouTube to slow it down if you need to. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, ah. Right, one more time. I used the wrong ghost note there, so let me try this one more time. Otherwise, I think we've got it. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. And then you're back into the song. So let's take it from this sort of second half-ish that we worked from way up here. Let's take it from there to the end, and then we'll go through the whole solo. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, here we go. Here we go. Whole solo from the beginning, a little bit faster, but not a lot. And again, use the frames per second to slow this down for the cohesion of the whole thing if you need to. All right, here we go. Let's rip it. That is it. Email me if you have questions, and yeah, hope this was helpful. Hope you dig it, and hope to see you in another lesson soon. Bye-bye.